We have the one, the only Brandy Graham that I'm going to be interviewing her, asking her some questions because she has been on fire here lately. So, Brandy, we'll go ahead and get started. Tell us what has helped you improve your numbers here lately. You've qualified for Puerto Rico. Most of that premium was written in the last 4 to 6 weeks. You've just been on a tear lately. What's changed your attitude, your mindset, your habits to help you hit your goals?
So first of all, I've been going to work. I know that's not going to be, I know that sounds so simple, but at the same time, guys, it can be so hard. I did not, so I'm going on my third year with CJ. Last year I didn't earn the sunglasses. This year I did. Last year I didn't earn the Puerto Rico trip. This year I did. I really just started looking at my numbers and seeing where I was this time last year. Now, some of y'all that are new, you're not going to be able to do that, but you still set your goals and you do your very best to follow through and really just be out there to help families. I got the privilege of getting to work with Rylan yesterday, and we kind of talked about that a little bit. This time last year, guys, I was sitting at only 68,000. So last year I ended up with 123,000 for the year. I should touch about a little over 200 if I stay on track. But when I compare my numbers for 2021, I was at 68,806, and I'm right now at 120,389. And that's just by looking at my weeks prior to seeing where I was. So this week, I'm up against a 0 week last year. We're not supposed to do 0 weeks. I did, but I'm already at 7,500, so I know I'm already up for this week. A lot of y'all are your sole providers of your family. I am the sole provider for my family. If I don't work, our bills don't get paid. So just really, the other thing is I want to lead by example. I have a great team. Mindy is freaking killing it, and I'm so proud of her. But I got to do is just as good as Mindy does and my team so that they see that I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing to help them.
That's awesome. So let me get this straight, Brandy. You know your numbers in and out, not just for this year, but for last year as well. And you're competing with yourself. Is that right?
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So I know y'all can't see this, but this sits on my desk and these are my numbers. And you all have access to this report. Just looking at what you did the week prior. And then it kind of gives you so I'll tell you. So the one thing that I'm able to do is I can look at my week prior. Then guess what I can do? I can go to my handy dandy calendar. What was I doing this time last week? Was I working with a business? Oh, maybe it's time to go reservice them. Or, did I have appointments? So I kind of am able to use my calendar to go back and see what I was doing and then know what I need to be doing that week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Brandy, what is your schedule look like for you to stay so consistent?
So my schedule is probably the hardest thing that I have to deal with. Sometimes there's days we just don't want to get up and go to work. Okay, I know I'm going to be 100% transparent with everyone. That happens to all of us. One thing that's helping me is knowing that where I'm going to go the next morning. I'm going ahead and having an appointment. Like, so today I know I already have a 1 o'clock appointment. I have an enrollment set for this evening. So I have a couple of things I got to take care of first thing this morning, but I already know where I'm going. So keeping my calendar full is getting me out of the bed, and school's back. So that also is great because then you got to get up and get your kid ready for school. So that helps out a lot. So just really, I'm really trying to keep my calendar super full.
That's awesome. So just staying disciplined and dedicated to your calendar and protecting your time sounds like is what's really kind of been changing for you.
It has been.
Brandy, what is one thing technically that you have improved on to help you produce at a higher level?
So there's two things. The first one is Kyle came and worked with me a couple weeks ago, and my approach was really not good. That's what I struggle with the most. But the second thing is really just my buying atmosphere. When I'm sitting down with someone, CJ, I'm telling them, hey, this may be for you and it may not. Okay. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go through this. I'm going to share the benefits with you. If it's something that makes sense and it fits in your budget, feel free to give me a simple yes. And if not, a simple no. Now, and you got to kill that spousal objection, because if you don't, you're going to get it. So, CJ, I'm sure your wife's not going to kill you for, protecting you and your family with a cancer policy, especially how cancer runs in your family so much. Knock that spousal objection out and let them know it's okay for them to tell you no. The other night I was at an enrollment and the guy, I did the spousal objection. He said, yeah. And then at the end, he's like, well, can I take this home to my wife? And I said, well, you can take it home to your wife. I said, but remember earlier when we talked, I asked you for a simple yes or a simple no if this made sense. And you said, yeah. I said, well, we're at that place right now. I said, I'm going to send you home with everything you need. If your wife has any questions whatsoever, tell her to call me. I'll come to the house. Thank you for calling Family Heritage. And so he said, you know what? You're right. He works for the PGA, which was really cool. And we got him protected. Thank you for calling Family Heritage. Somebody needs to
you guys, let's mute our lines, please. Whoever's calling Family Heritage, just hit mute.
I just muted him.
Thanks.
Awesome, Brandy. So it sounds like, that sounds very similar to exactly what the sales talk says. So guys, that is living, breathing proof that the sales talk works. Okay. Brandy, what vision do you have for yourself with Family Heritage? Like, where do you want to be, next year?
I would say next year, I want to be a market director. I'm kind of taking this one step at a time. I want to have a team. I want to grow a team. I love getting out and being able to help people. That only makes me better each time I get to work with someone. Just growing and just seeing where God leads me with this. But just being able, the biggest thing is just honestly being able to help as many families as we can. And in the beginning, I was really selfish about it. I didn't want a lot of people in the areas that I was in because I wanted Brandy to help them. But the thing is there's not enough Brandys, enough Emilys, there's not enough of us to help these families when these bad things happen to them.
For sure. So market director, next year, what about 5 to 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself? What's your vision for that?
Me and Rylan talked about this yesterday at lunch. I don't know that I would want to be an agency owner. I don't know that I would want all that responsibility. But and the reason I say that is, Alyssa's graduating from high school this year. I really want to be able to focus a lot on Alyssa. Kaylee's 9. So that may 5 to 10 years from now, it may change. So I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. I hate to say it, and I'm just honest, I've not looked out where does 10 years set from now for me. I know that I do know for a fact that I do not want to work for anyone else. Yesterday we went into a Lowe's and I was able to get that set up, and, talking to the store manager, the stress that people carry on a retail job. Someone can offer you a big fat salary, but you're not having a work-life balance with your home and family. So for me, it's just, I know for a fact that I only want to work for myself and be paid what I'm worth. And I know that I want to help people be able to do things for their families. So I know that's not necessarily answering it, CJ. I don't, market director, regional, those things, yes. But as far as going to the big bad, agency owner, I just don't know. But then we did. Oh, I think someone's phones were echoing, but we did talk. There's not a lot of female agency owners, so that would be kind of cool to kind of get to that. So we'll see. I don't know.
Definitely. I know, Brandy, if you put your mind to it, you can definitely achieve whatever you want to achieve here. Why do you think, as a leader, it is important to do phase 1 activities, especially with a brand new agent to get their career started off? Like, why do you think that's so important?
That's just so important because, guys, there's people on here that's been with us for a couple years. There's some of y'all that are brand new. You have to learn how to cold call, how to, go do these approaches. Sometimes people aren't going to sit with you. That is one thing that I am very, very hard on, is we're going to go work a shopping center and go door to door to door. Because I want you to know how it was when we all first started. Cold calling is extremely important. Me and Rylan yesterday went and knocked on some houses. We've said, heck, you know what, we're going to both get out of our comfort zone. But the phase 1 activities is just because, guys, when you come into this, when I started, I thought I was going to come out and write 15,000 my first week. That was my goal. It took me almost 3 years to do that in 1 week. You got to understand that this is something that none of us have ever done before. We have got to, you just got to learn. I told Rylan yesterday, I said, I think right now, and it's going on 3 years, maybe things are just now starting to click for me. They may click for people at different times. Maybe right now it's just starting to finally make sense. Knowing your numbers. I told him, I said, we're coming up on Q4. So guys, if you have not started your Q4 goals yet, your leaders will be talking to you, go ahead and do those, because then you actually have something that you can look at to see how you performed against what you were wanting to do. I just, the phase 1 activities are just so important to get your career where it needs to go to get it started. And then as you develop those skills, it's going to get better and better for you.
Absolutely. Nothing bad ever happened from going out and cold calling,
Me and you did it before.
Yeah.
And still do.
Yeah, exactly. So last kind of question here, Brandy, we're going to wrap up on this, something pretty inspirational and something pretty cool. I've used this story multiple times with a lot of prospects out in the field. Just, kind of letting them know, because it was a big deal. It's a huge deal. Tell us a little bit about your claim for your clients down in Statesville.
So I met Amy Mills and Michael Marlowe. It's been about a year ago. Okay. I was not in the most, I would say, nicest area in Statesville. I walked into B&B Auto Glass. There was a young lady that was working at the desk. I introduced myself. Cancer had ran through her family, had a 5-year-old little boy at the time. Climbing on everything. These floors in this glass shop were, bless her heart, you couldn't keep them clean. They were laminate, but there was always chicken nuggets, French fries, some kind of food on the floor because the kids were at the shop a lot. So I ended up protecting Amy Mills with the very best accident ICU because she's only 26. Guys, the rates are dirt cheap. And then we ended up protecting her fiance. Well, fast forward, a couple months after they had their policies, they canceled them. And I was like, you get the cancellations on your cell phone. And I was like, why'd they do that? And I was like, maybe I'm not going to go back to them. Then I was like, you know what? No, I am going back to them. I want to know why they canceled this. And I walked into the glass shop. I'll never forget. And Mike was sitting there. Amy had left to take Bentley to preschool. And I said, hey, Mike, I said, I got a cancellation on your coverage with me. And he said, Brady, he said, we got really good health insurance. And his exact words was, Amy buys every damn thing that comes through this front door. And I said, Mike, let me sit down and talk to you and show you exactly what this does. Okay. I said, so if something, I said, your health insurance, that's going to pay the doctors and hospitals. He said, we have good life insurance. I said, that's going to pay when you die. I said, what I pay for is if something bad happens, if there's a bad accident. I said, Bentley's climbing all over these cabinets like a little monkey. I said, I think one of them had swallowed a French fry or choked on a French fry, had to go to the emergency room. There was a lot of things that had happened. And Mike said, Amy will be back. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and get it restarted. Guys, 6 months later, Chad had to have carpal tunnel surgery. That's my husband. I was sitting in the waiting room and I was scrolling on Facebook and I seen that there was a fatal golf cart accident. I seen the name Marlowe and I thought, man, I have a customer by the name of Marlowe. And then I searched and I seen M. Marlowe. And then I seen Bentley. My heart sunk to my feet. I remember going to Chad's out of surgery. They call me and I'm standing there crying. And, Chad's all kind of messed up on the pain medicines from the surgery. And he's like, what's wrong? And the doctor's like, what's wrong? I said, I have clients that just were killed. Let that just sink in just for 1 minute. I took my husband home and got straight to the Charlotte hospital where Amy was there. She was on a ventilator. She knew how I was when I came in. I said, Amy, it's Brandy. How are you? They had her on the ventilator because just to calm her nerves down. She still kind of knew what had happened, but didn't. Her mom and dad thought I was an absolute crazy nutcase. I had to take her mom and dad out of the room and I said, look, I need you to understand who I am and why I am here. I said, Amy and Mike had accident coverage with me. Mike passed away. Amy is Mike's beneficiary. If something happens to your daughter and she passes away, there's nothing there. So how this happened, and I took Rylan to the scene of the accident yesterday when we were working. I just wanted him to kind of see, this neighborhood, very nice houses. So Amy is 26. Bentley was 5. Bailey just turned 3. Mike Marlowe, 39. His oldest daughter, Jada, 13. They were hit head on by a golf cart, by a drunk driver, or hit head on. They were on the golf cart, hit head on by a drunk driver. Mike was 39. He passed away at the scene. Guys, Bentley was 5 years old. He passed away. A couple weeks later, Jada did. Amy is 26. She's in rehab. I'm going to show y'all a video of something that's posted on Facebook. Bailey's femur bone was broken. She's good. She's 3 years old. She's running around. Amy lost one of her legs. Guys, okay, $110,000 is going to be delivered to them today. That's just the accidental death benefit of their policies that they paid for. That $110,000 is a down payment on Amy's new house. Here's why she has to have a new house. Her and Mike weren't married. So guess what? Now his dad is kind of took over the house, which is in the end, putting Amy out of a home while she's still laying in rehab. Okay. Her claim is going to top, when I just figured the numbers, $250 to right at $300,000. This may be the biggest claim accident-wise that Family Heritage has ever had. Do you think for 1 minute that 6 months prior to me re-protecting them, that we ever thought that this was going to happen? I just posted something on Facebook. Alyssa texted me last night. One of the guys she worked with just got killed in a motorcycle accident. This is my 19-year-old daughter texting me that a boy she works with just got killed on a motorcycle accident last night. So what we do matters. Sometimes we're going to deal with buttholes, but if your heart is there for the right reason and you're just telling them, look, I hope these things don't happen, but based off of what you told me, it's a possibility that it could. Guys, that's our job, is to get out there and help people. And so sometimes I have to kind of just remind myself of Amy and the why of what I'm doing. So I do want to show this. I'll have to pull it up on Facebook really quick. I just want y'all to see what kind of warrior that we have that we protected. So let's see. It's gonna glide. It's just gonna glide. It's all it's doing. So Amy lost her leg at the scene. She is just now starting to kind of get out of the bed to do the things that she needs to be able to do. It's gonna glide. It's just gonna glide. It's all it's doing. This was her just a couple days ago in a wheelchair for the first time, getting to kind of get outside and get some fresh air besides being in the hospital walls. And I'm going to tell you, this is her kind of getting a mess with the vanity. She is the most strongest woman that I know. There's no way that I could have had something like that happen to me keep going on. So just if nothing else, go out there today and just, you know, when I'm in my territory, I share that story very easily. I don't want people to think that, hey, just because this happened, now I need you to buy insurance so I can make money off of you. No, but I do want them to know that these things do happen and they can happen. And if something does happen, that we're going to be there to help them during the most difficult times of their life. So that's it.
Ooh. Well, I'm fired up. I don't know about you guys. Guys, any last kind of closing questions for Brandy?
Brandy's amazing, so no questions.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks. Listen at me. Thanks, Mindy. I'm thinking of Amy already this morning.
For sure. Guys, what are a couple
I do have
keys?
one question.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's Chris. So Brandy, you said you went back and got the family reinstated. So, you know, if you get the notification that says so-and-so canceled and you go back and see them, like what's the process in getting them reinstated? Do you have to like just completely start over and just get them a whole new policy, or do you look up their old number and
So
just like click the?
So if they cancel due to customer request, it's a brand new policy or rewrite now. I have an appointment today. One of my guys has had coverage. His policies have canceled. He's at a close enough time that we can probably call and he'll make about a $200 payment and his policies will be reinstated. So I actually have 2 people that I'm meeting with today to get their policies fixed and reinstated. And a lot of times, I actually helped a lady at a pawn shop the other day and she said, I asked my husband, what did he buy from Family Heritage? And I always say, when this comes out of your checking account, it's going to say Family Heritage. And so sometimes they see it and they think it's something, you know, they're busy, they forgot. You know, just go back and visit. Any other questions?
Hey, I don't have a question, but Brandy, this is Van. I just wanted to say, and just make sure everybody kind of understands the gravity of what we do on a agent to individual level. Huge. You just outlined that with what you shared, and I'll leave that alone. But guys, understand in Brandy's family, you know, she wasn't always the main breadwinner. Her husband, Chad, at one point was able to carry that torch, and then health situations have caused it to not be so. And for Brandy to step in and jump right into this same business and take the ball and just run with it has been nothing short of inspirational and phenomenal. I remember when Chad brought you into the Raleigh office and introduced me to you after you guys were coming back home from Wilmington, 3 years ago. And your evolution from just greenhorn to agent to leader to just moving through the steps. You know, hey, if it's 3 years in and you're just kind of hitting your stride, so be it. You've done a heck of a job before hitting your stride, providing for your family and taking care of things and creating a great residual income along the way, protecting a truckload of families, and inspiring and leading and nurturing a whole bunch of agents along the way too. So just want to say thank you, Brandy. Phenomenal job. Absolutely. Mwah.
Hey, Brandy, Renee here. I wanted to thank you for the buying atmosphere part. I have never honestly thought about really being like, oh, wait, you told me yes or no, and now you're telling me no. So what is it? Because you're going back on your word. So I did like that reminder to do that because, like I said, I've never done that before. So I always just like, oh, okay.
And Renee, it was kind of a ballsy move, but something told me, you know, you did tell me that you could tell me yes. So, you know, where does it change right now? You know, this guy, he works, like I said, for PGA. He's a volunteer firefighter. He travels constantly. He's young. He's already had polyps removed. Cancer runs in his family. So, I mean, I knew he made good money. There was no reason he couldn't have it. So just remind him, you told me yes or no. Remember, you know, there's 2 times people think about this. One is when I'm sitting here talking to you. When do you think the next time is? When it's too late. So if it makes sense, let's just go ahead and get you covered today.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Anything else for Brandy before we hop off?
That was great, Brandy.
Absolutely.
Let's go out there and be a blessing to families today, guys. please.
Absolutely. Hey, let me just throw in those of you guys that are still alive in knockout competition. The results from last week should certainly be in by today, so be sure to check on those. Yep, week 5 results are in and are posted. So check on that. I believe most everybody advanced. So keep on rocking and rolling. Know where you are, because you're only a couple short weeks away from $1,000 grand prize. So proud of you guys.
Thanks,
Y'all
guys.
have a good day.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a good one.